Hi, I'm Jess. I'm on the way to work. Work is Fossey Taylor. It's a group of companies that makes investing in property easy for clients who haven't got the time, the skill or the inclination. Normally these videos are answers to questions that you guys put in. So if you're on YouTube now, probably there's a box, type it in, or email, whatever you want to do. Call the guys up and ask them if you want. Ask a question, I do my best to answer it if I can. But today it's a statement really. It was a question at the time, but I'm making a statement now because I realised that this is something that crops up over and over again. We had a discovery day 5 days ago. Client came along, everything was going very well. He was in our building, in our office, looking around. I think he was quite impressed. He was a property guy. In the 80s, he'd built up a portfolio of properties. He'd sold them off. He'd now bought 2 or 3. He had an understanding. He was asking lots of sensible questions. He'd spoken to my lettings guy about lettings, but the buyers, what do you buy, why? You know, talking to the renovations guy, how do you ensure that the builders, all your contracts are protected? All these sensible questions. Then it came to my question, and he said, and it was a serious question. He wanted me to, it was his investment decision was dependent on it. He wanted me to predict what was going to happen to the property market, and I think he started off being less than impressed with my answer. A little bit later on, I really hope he got it, and I am going to be sending this direct out to him. So and Adam in the office will be following it up. I said, I'm pretty sure the property market's going to go up in value. I'm not sure when or by how much, and it doesn't matter. And you can see he was less than impressed, because if you think about it, the investing he'd done up until that point, property investing, had been based on a rising market. You know, buying houses, it was in the 80s, early 90s, building a portfolio, waiting for the price to go up, selling them. I mean, the numbers he was talking about, it was good money, you know, 2, 3, 4, 500,000 pounds, whatever it was, cash there, great. Off we go, thank you very much. I'll go do something else with that. I'm not quite sure what, but I've got some more work to do to get that money into other investments, or, you know, let's have another think now. Let's basically come up with a whole new plan. And now he thought the property market was rising, don't disagree there, and he wanted to get back in, and he was trying to time it right. I've seen this over and over and over and over again. This is a question or a misunderstanding about what we do that comes up over and over again. I used to have this misunderstanding. The day that I realised that, or how to do it, and I'm going to tell you in a minute, right now, exactly how to do it. It's not rocket science. I can cover it off in 30 seconds. Was the day that it was like a lightning bolt. It clicked for me. Bang! That's the way we do it. In fact, actually, it was. I read it in a book. You know, I read the book in a day. At the end of the book, there was a 30-second gap when I put it down, thought about it for 30 seconds, picked up the phone to my bank manager and refinanced one of the properties one of my businesses ran from, pulled a couple of £100,000 out. I bought 50 houses that year with that pot of money. I was that convinced. I haven't stopped. I buy more houses now than I ever have. I am still that convinced that it is that special. I'll tell you now, most people who think they know buy to let know 95% of it. Buy a house, put a deposit down, rent it out, wait for the value to go up. Every 5-10 years, refinance it, pull your money back out if you can, buy again. It's slow and steady. At the time when I looked at it, it was going to take me half a lifetime to achieve anything meaningful. I was running a business at the time, and the business definitely made more impact to my financial life. You know, like, I can do more with this business. God, I've got to get up every morning and go to it and work it and deal with the staff, and it's not much fun, but I can't see any other way. When I learnt this 5%, that was it. And I'm going to tell you probably 2 or 3 times in this video what that 5% is, because I know it takes that long for some people. At the end of this video, you might still not have got it. Come and see us. Make sure, if you don't get it, come and see us. If a picture paints 1,000 words, coming and standing in the house on the street that I'm talking about, really, for some people, it's the subtle stuff. It's like, oh, this house is this big, the street looks like this, I see the kind of tenants you're going to get around here. Yeah, I get it, it's not that bad, but it's not that, yeah, okay, it's not like Millionaires Row, but it's not like burning cars in the streets. It's, yeah, I see where we are. You can do all your research around the house. Coming and seeing the house is no substitute for that, but I'll try and cover off. So here they are, and this is not rocket science. Always buy a house for less than it's worth. Buy a bargain of a house, and always add value. You hear a lot of talk about BMV and below market value purchases. It's not that there's no such thing. You can buy something for less than it's worth. It's just that doesn't really mean anything at all. What we're trying to do is, and we'll use the example of a £100,000 house. I look at a house and I say, that could be worth £100,000. I want to pay you £70,000 for it because I know I'm going to spend £10,000 on that house. So I'm in for that house for 80 grand. If I can get an 80% loan to value mortgage on the end value of £100,000, I won't have any money left in that house. I bought the right house in the right area and done all the right things, and let's hope my renovation really did cost £10,000, my exact prediction, and that's why I can't cover this off all in a video. That's what we do here. But the general principle, hopefully you've just got that. You've got a free house. You put some money in, you did some work, if you were a builder and you bought the house and sold it, you'd make £20,000 profit. If you're an investor and you do it in the old-fashioned way and you want to buy a £100,000 house and with a loan, and the bank says, I'll give you 80% loan to value, that bank is going to want you to put 20%, £20,000 into that house. We're buying a cheap house and adding value. We are, if we were that builder, making the £20,000. Instead of selling the house, we keep it. And our time and effort becomes the deposit. It becomes the £20,000. We leave it there, we leave it sat there. That's why it doesn't matter if the house prices go up or go down, because all I've got left in that house after a period of time, after refinancing, is my own time and effort. Now you've got to get over the fact that you didn't just make £20,000, you left it in the house. You only, and I use the word only, making £200 or £300 profit on a single let. That's all about you get. We do HMOs, you can make £1,000, £1,200, £1,500 depending on the size of the HMO, if you go for HMOs. But single let, be £200 or £300. And I know lots of clients that stick their nose up that, but it's £200. It's not very exciting. Get 10, get 20, get 30, and importantly, you can. What I've just told you there means you can buy that number with one single pot of money. Then people say, oh, it takes a long time. It took me 7 years. Is that a long time? Yeah, it's a long time. When I was halfway through 7 years, I was halfway through my project, and I was halfway to my earnings target. Didn't seem like a long time then. Pretty fun at halfway time. Stuff I bought, houses that I bought 5 and 10 years ago, and I was buying 1 or 2 a month at that time, have gone up in value by 50, 60, 70,000 pounds, some more. If I was buying that many houses every month, right now I can refinance 1, 2 houses a month and pull out 30 or 40,000 pounds a month. I'm really glad I bought those houses. There is a little bit, and I'm trying to think of all the times I've ever said this to a client, and you see the puzzled look. Maybe it's sinking in now, maybe it's not. How many mortgages can you have? As many as you want. How many times you can refinance a house? What is refinance? Just Google how to refinance a house if you're not sure. Some people, they come to, and there's no silly questions in our discovery days. I know that. I'm full of silly questions. You know, if you don't know the answer to something, ask the question. You're more silly not asking the question and walking away not understanding it. Always ask the silly question. There'll be somebody else around the same table not knowing it as well. How many times can you read? People, I know this is one of the things that clients ask. How does a refinance process work? Plenty of people know. Some people don't. Google it. That's how it works. Very, very simple and straightforward. They just come along and say, that's what your house is worth. I'll lend that money on it. You get your money back. You get a check. How many mortgages can you have? Honestly, there's no limit. Some banks have limits. Find another bank. As the more retail market closes down, after you've got sort of 50, 60 mortgages, the retail banks will constrict a bit. They get a little bit more, they feel like they're overexposed. Yeah, other doors open. Finance from larger banks, other lending institutions, commercial kind of finance. Can you put commercial finance on a buy-to-let? Not on a single one, but you can on a portfolio of 50. Then it comes to exit strategy. What is my exit strategy? I'll tell you, it's death. This works best if you keep for the long term, and there's no longer term than the whole of your life. The question that gets asked after that is, well, what are you going to do about paying down the mortgages? How are you going to, what are you going to do when you get to sort of 60, 70? You can't keep getting mortgages when you're 60 or 70. what are you going to do? Well, the answer is actually you can keep getting mortgages, particularly if you're speaking to the commercial banks. My answer is I'm going to leave it all to my kids. It's one of the main attractions to me. A traditional pension, most traditional pensions will die with you. Not all, but most will. Your annuity gone when you're dead, or your spouse. Property portfolio, with a bit of careful planning, go see any half-decent accountant, and they'll show you how to put it into some entity, partnership, limited company that then goes into a trust, whatever. Set it all out in your wills. It's easy. Anybody with a net worth over, I don't know, a couple of £100,000 should be looking into doing that. Otherwise, you'll be paying huge amounts of IHT, inheritance tax. So my kids will get it, and they'll carry on. In the transition period, I don't know, that could be 40 years, 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, I don't know, whatever, 50 years is too long. But at the time when I actually say, kids, you know how to do this, you carry on buying houses, I'll go sit on a beach, they'll be buying in my name, this other legal entity name, their name. It's a group effort, it's a portfolio, and they're building on it, and then it'll gradually go over to them, or quite suddenly go over to them. Who knows? It's we're talking 20, 30 years in the future, when all these decisions have to be made. If I die tomorrow, the decisions have to be made quick, and it's all planned in. It's there in my will. So my exit strategy: death. I pass it over to the kids. They carry on. The day before I die, I'll still be buying houses. The method we're advocating is slow and steady. We all know slow and steady wins the race. Come and see us. Book onto one of our Discovery Days. Hopefully one or two of you have just got it. The lightning bolt hit you just there and then. If you haven't quite yet, but you're a little bit more clued up, still intrigued, come and see us. There is definitely a point when you get it that you can't get enough, and you just keep going and going. I buy more houses now than I ever did. I'm more excited about it now than I ever did, because I can buy more houses, and that's the way it happens. It does tend to snowball up. I look forward to seeing some of you.